Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, all you beautiful souls who are awakening on this path. Lovely to be with you. Okay. So, one thing I want to speak about today, one thing that Kundalini does for us, to us, as us, is Kundalini awakens us to so many different realms, so many different aspects of our consciousness. Kundalini opens us to divine realms, and Kundalini awakens us to human realms and challenges us in these realms. And I'd like to speak about this because this is where most people get confused, is with all the phenomena of Kundalini Shakti. And, so many folks just really struggle. And it's important to understand that this is the greatest experience any human can go through. Because as we awaken on this path, we are awakening into the divine. And of course, nothing is greater than God. And in God, God contains all things. God is all things. And so some of these worlds that you open to will be very easy to open to. And you'll open and there'll be a sense of falling in love or falling in bliss. And, we might say, all glory be to God. All glory be to God. You may say, I am that. Our whole body and every cell in our being may jump for joy as we open into realms of bliss or spaciousness or freedom. And this can be quite incredible. But there's some divine realms that really confuse us. Like when we open into the void. And so we may be seated in a place of meditation and just doing our normal meditative dance. And all of a sudden, we may find ourselves in the void. And the mistake that most people make is we try to relate to the void. We try to relate to God. We try to relate to our experience from the perspective of our human mind. And if we find ourselves in the void and we relate to it from our human mind, we will feel lonely. We will feel abandoned. We'll feel, for some people, we'll feel terrified. But rather, if we open to the void in a trusting way, in an experiential way, in a way where we surrender and we trust in God, we say, I'm going to see what this is. I'm going to give myself permission to merge into this. When we merge into the void, we begin to experience, the Buddha's realization of emptiness. And you start to see, oh, everything is empty. And everything is timeless. And there's this absolute quality to it. Of freedom, the freedom from being you, the human individual who's fighting for whatever, who's interested in political elections and who's has to have their coffee latte a certain way or whatever neurotic attachment that we have. I can remember I went to San Francisco once and this guy walked up to the coffee shop and, to the register. And he said, I want a latte with rice milk and I want it to be a half cap and I want it to be cinnamon on it and I want honey, not sugar. And he said it like if the person got it wrong, he was about to die. Like, you must get my coffee order right. It's the most important thing of his day. Like when you go into the void, that aspect of yourself where you think something is so important will fall away. Will fall away if you give it permission, if you give yourself permission to become the void, to become the emptiness. You will experience a freedom like you've never felt before. But if you hold on to your thinking mind and you hold on to your attachment to your silly coffee drink, and you go into the void, you say, God is trying to annihilate my egoic being. And he has this sense of being killed or burned alive. And it's just silliness. It's silliness. The things we hold on to, and it's silly how confused we can become when God is trying to show us something great. And so as we open into the divine realms, there are realms that are easy and blissful and feel euphoric. No one struggles with that. There are realms that are confusing, like the void, like emptiness. We open into a realm where the past no longer exists. If you're holding on to the past, that will be frightening to you. If you choose to be in the eternal now, like everyone's favorite Eckhart Tolle has tried to teach us 25 years ago, just be in the now, then you'll sink into the now and there'll be a happiness about it, a freshness and aliveness. You see this beauty in things that you once dismissed. You see this innate beauty everywhere. I was just speaking with Jose, our artist friend, an hour ago, and he spoke about this, taking pictures and seeing a whale come up in the sunset. So a whale coming up out of the ocean in the sunset. He said, no one is seeing this because human beings are living in the past and they're living in the future. They're grasping or chasing after their coffee drink or their politics or whatever it is. But we have to allow ourselves to open into these realms with the heart and the innocence of a child who says, okay, let's see what this is. Let's see what it is. And if we allow ourselves to see and we allow ourselves to experience, the fabric of our consciousness, the fabric of our being will be transmuted literally. And this is the gift and the grace of Kundalini Shakti. I'm going to talk about some of the other realms. Some of the realms that we open to will have gods and goddesses in them. And we can learn from these great beings. But for many of us, like if we open into the realm of Kali Ma, I can remember when I opened into the realm of Kali Ma, everything was red and fiery and hot. And it was very uncomfortable to be in that realm because Kali Ma was burning up my attachments. She was burning up my desires, burning up the things which were untrue for Craig, the things that Craig held on to and was holding on to for far too long. And Kali Ma said, hey, let me throw those on the fire. And she wasn't asking either. She wasn't asking. She was just coming and taking and burning. And so again, we have to ask, well, how am I going to relate to Kali Ma? If I fight with Kali Ma, you'll probably suffer and feel overwhelmed and feel like this isn't fair. But if we trust in her grace, say, okay, you have that. And in return, she gives you light and she gives you power. She gives you freedom. Because you'll have freedom in the places where you once had attachment. Your whole body will be lit up inside of the burning of attachment, the burning of the things that are no longer good for you. And so there's these realms where we open to gods and goddesses. But there's also realms that we need to have caution with. And so there's lower realms that Kundalini Shakti will kind of just bring forward. And sometimes the Shakti just knocks down all the doors. And when all the doors are knocked down, we see everything. So we might see some of the lower realms, hell realms. And we might see some of these. We might see some of these realms. We might experience some of these realms. And what's important, if these realms are being revealed to us, is for us just to see them. And maybe in the past you've seen some pictures of gods or goddesses where their hand is just like this. And sometimes that hand has light and grace coming out of it. But sometimes this hand is also just a universal hand of stop or no. And so when hell realms are revealed to you, sometimes we just stand and we witness these realms just with a no. And the no is just saying, like, I don't need any trouble. I don't need any of that nonsense. I don't need to be sucked in. I don't need to buy into fear. I remain here in a serene state, just saying no to the nonsense of life. Because there's a lot of nonsense. Like right now, we're on the internet, we could plug into any kind of nonsense on the internet. And so there's some realms that we just say no to. And we say no from a I'll say this, from a transcendent view. But sometimes Kundalini Shakti will force you to walk through a hell realm to get to the other side. And it's important just to have that no. Again, as you're walking through hell, it's just like, no, I don't need any of this. Like I can remember when I was young and I found myself in Amsterdam in the red light district. As soon as I got off the train, a man came up to me and he offered me like every drug possible. And it's just like, I just kept walking. It's just like, I just got to keep walking and I'm going to get to my hostel. I don't need, just to start taking substances as soon as I get off a train. And in Amsterdam, they have, it's really sad. It's actually tremendously heartbreaking, but they have women, who are wearing barely any clothes, and they have them like in windows. And you see all these men going in those, going into those rooms. And there's like, that's a hell realm. And then when I was in Amsterdam, there was all these, what do they call them? Like marijuana shops or cafes, I think they called them. And for me, it's just like I was just touring Europe. So I was just like, found myself in Amsterdam. I was just going to keep walking through the city. I met some friends, and then pretty soon we were off in the countryside, and then we were over in the North Sea. And it's like, okay, I'm feeling better. But sometimes we just have to walk through the hell and just say no. We keep our eyes on the direction of the truth. But many people, when they come into these hell realms, they're looking around, they're like, and they scare themselves. They're paying too much attention. And this is where we need to have faith and trust. Faith and trust in our continual awakening, our continual healing, faith and trust in our strength, and not to have faith and trust in scary images. Because when we see an image and we're afraid of it, we actually have faith that that thing can harm us. Let's not do that. Let's have faith in God. Let's have faith in our strength. Let's have faith in our light. Let's have faith in our divinity. And so we walk forward. And sometimes you might walk through realms. I hate talking about this, but I just have to. And we might pick up, a little entity or something, a little, bizarre, kind of schizophrenic, voice, or some needy voice, or some, like, what's his name? Gollum in the Lord of the Rings. It was just like something that torments us. And we have to find a way to connect to our power. And when we connect to our power, what we'll find is that thing that once tormented us no longer torments us. Well, the mistake most people make is when they find themselves engaged with some kind of entity or dark force or lower force, they give all their power away to the damn entity and the thing grows. And it's like if a tick is on your body, it's sucking your blood. You find your power, you pull that thing off and you crush it. Say, I am mighty. But if we just say, oh my God, there's a tick on me, and you just sit and you allow it to continue to suck your blood. If you ever see a tick, they grow and they get bigger. Like sometimes they'll get triple or quadruple the size. And, we're not going to do that. We're going to say no to that thing. We're going to say, get behind me, Satan. We walk forward in the direction of the light. Now, some realms we'll find are good and blissful, and that's easy. But some realms are good and really hard. And the realms that are good and are really hard are the healing realms. Like everyone here in this group has been asked to heal and evolve and do some type of psychological healing and face their wound or their shadow or their trauma. And it's good in the sense that these realms point us to the fact that we have a deficit in love or unconditional love. We have a deficit in strength. We have a deficit in the fact that we've ignored ourselves. We've ignored our human self. And we need to learn to love this part of us. And of course, in this group, we've spent a lot of time speaking about doing this type of healing work. But often our mind, like I was speaking about in the beginning, has the wrong types of thoughts about these realms. The types of thoughts we have are, this isn't fair. I don't like this. I wish I was dead. I wish this wasn't happening. This isn't fair. I don't like this because it doesn't feel good. And that's how the ego thinks. I don't like this because it doesn't feel good. And these realms remind us that we are a soul, and our soul has incarnated into an evolutionary world, and that we need to do the hard work of evolution, which basically means we need to meet our humanity with love and strength and clarity. And see, that's good work. That's good work to do. But if we align with our mind will say, I don't want to do this work. It's not fair. And we can say that all day long. Or our mind might say, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm confused. None of us are confused. We all know if there's pain here, this pain needs to be met with love, with clarity, and with strength. There's no confusion around that. There's no confusion there. And there's no negotiation that needs to happen. If there's trauma here, if there's pain from the past, we need to find and connect to a greater sense of love. And these worlds help us to grow in strength and grow in divinity, to grow in a universal love. So these realms are good, but they're hard. But they're hard. Now, there's other realms which are legitimately confusing. And these are what I call like the foggy realms, the vague realms, where you sit in meditation and often it just feels like, I don't know what's happening here. There may be a little shimmer of light, but it seems kind of foggy, or it seems dense, or it feels like we're walking through tar or something heavy. It seems like there's something here, but we don't know what it is. And these are realms where God is going to reveal something new to us, a spiritual quality that perhaps we didn't know existed. That we didn't know existed. A spiritual quality that maybe is so ancient or maybe so new. We have no idea what it is. And in these realms, again, the teaching is the same. We walk forward and we slowly begin to open to these realms and explore what they are. And we might have, like an ongoing prayer, like, show me, Lord, show me, God, what the truth is here. Show me what this is about. Teach me from the inside out. And so these realms help us to have trust and faith, but also these realms are like God is giving us a great gift. And maybe we don't actually know what it is just yet. We don't know how to operate it just yet, how to fly this craft. And so we humbly walk forward. We humbly walk forward, exploring these realms. And so if you haven't already, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just to really feel into your consciousness and your experience. And we'll just begin to notice as we play with an inquiry question, am I open and trusting in my relationship with Kundalini Shakti? Am I open and trusting? Am I allowing Kundalini Shakti to teach me from the inside out? Or am I fighting and resisting with Kundalini Shakti? Am I judging Kundalini Shakti? Do I think I know better? Do I say things like, this shouldn't be happening? And what if in this moment I gave myself permission to surrender my human thoughts, my human judgments, my human resistance, and gave myself permission to open and to trust? To open and trust, and to invite God to show me the truth, to show me the way, to teach me from the inside out. And so as you scan through your energetic body, as you scan the central channel, I invite you to see if you can find the places within you that grip, that resist, that are closed, that relate to Kundalini from a place of fear or a place of mistrust. And can we soften here? Can we soften any and all resistance in the space of our thinking mind? Can we soften and let go any limiting beliefs or thoughts or aspects of our consciousness that think we know better? Can we soften and open more fully in our throat chakra? And clear out any limiting sense of trying to control God. Trying to control the energy. Can we let go and open more fully in the heart and the chest? Can we invite a humble heart, a humble attitude, which allows us to surrender and open and trust? Even if the work is hard, the realms are hard. Even if our experience is challenging, can we open more fully in the space of the heart and trust? Can we feel into the solar plexus and let go of any sense of fighting, any sense of taking things personally, any sense of using our will and forcing and resisting? And again, open here. Say, your will, God, not mine, your will. Can we take a deep breath and surrender and open more fully in the hara? Knowing this is a divine realm, divine world, a divine body, divine experience. Can we fully trust? The softening and opening in the pelvis, the root chakra, placing our body on the altar of the divine. Fully letting go and waking up on that altar and realizing that you are not just a human being, but rather that you are a divine being. You do not need to be scared or frightened as the divine wakes up in you. And so you continue to breathe and to feel and to open. And again, it's so lovely to be with you all.